You may know that Vietnam vets are entitled to payments if they have certain illnesses presumed to be from exposure to Agent Orange. What you may not know is that in 2002, the government suddenly excluded one group of Vietnam vets from automatic compensation, sailors exposed to Agent Orange offshore. Today's cover story is the Blue Water Vets' search for justice 50 years later.
I joined the Navy in 1970 and got out in 1974.
And you never were on the ground in Vietnam in combat?
I never was.
And therein lies the problem?
Yes.
Joe Lawley was deployed to Vietnam as a photographer's mate aboard the USS Constellation. After Vietnam, he left his 18-year-old pregnant wife at home for another tour on the USS John F. Kennedy, and bad things started to happen. First, he got a weird skin disease he later learned was connected to herbicides like Agent Orange.
Like
skin boils
ooze,
and
boils, lesions, everything. And they ooze all the time, and like my shirt would actually become stuck to it. And it was treated on John F. Kennedy for that and given medication for it. But nobody knew anything. It was just, we got a really bad acne disease. You know, nobody said this was caused from your trip in Vietnam. I don't think nobody knew it, or if they did, they weren't talking.
Agent Orange is dioxin, which is a defoliant, and it was used in Vietnam, Korea, Thailand, Guam, I think also, to defoliate areas where the enemy could hide out.
Congressman Phil Rowe, a doctor and an Army vet, is the lead Republican on the House Veterans Affairs Committee.
If you're fighting in a jungle where there's very thick growth and you're being ambushed, you want to clear out that perimeter so that your soldiers are safe. It turned out that obviously Agent Orange or dioxin is a very dangerous chemical to defoliate. It made sense if it made leaves fall off trees. It probably wasn't good for humans.
Millions of gallons of Agent Orange were sprayed over Vietnam.
Stand clear of the jet intakes and exhausts on the A4s.
It got on the aircraft that landed on the Navy ships. It washed into the rivers and sea.
The ships make their water from the seawater. So if the water was contaminated, then we would have drawn it in. So we were bathing, drinking, cooking, washing, anything you did use fresh water for, washing our laundry, washing aircraft.
While dealing with his strange skin condition, Lawley got tragic news from home.
Jane was pregnant, and unfortunately, we lost that child. We lost the child. He was born on my birthday. By the time I got back, the baby was buried, and they never let Jane see him.
The baby was severely deformed. After that, the Lawleys went on to have a miscarriage and 2 more children, one disabled with brain disorders. In his 30s, Lawley got colon disease. In his 40s, partial colon removal, a heart attack, and triple bypass. Then prostate surgeries. Today, add diabetes and urinary and nerve issues, some of the ailments presumed to be caused by Agent Orange and compensated under a law passed in 1991 whether the vet was a soldier or sailor.
The Agent Orange Act of 1991 included us in compensation and health benefits.
Suddenly, in 2002, automatic compensation for the sailors, the Blue Water Vets, was denied on a technicality.
That was taken away from us by some maneuvering in around 2002 as to what constitutes the definition of service in the Republic of Vietnam.
The VA determined Blue Water Service doesn't count as Vietnam service. So even though Lawley's medical records from the VA, no less, fault Agent Orange, as far as VA compensation, he was never there. Michael Yates is in the same boat.
The USS Bainbridge, largest of the destroyer class.
He served in the waters off Vietnam on the USS Bainbridge. Can you go over what some of your health issues are?
From the bottom up, I have prostate cancer, I have thyroid cancer, heart disease, lung disease, skin cancer, hypertension, a couple of problems with my heart.
He says those diseases don't run in his family, some presumed illnesses from Agent Orange. Denied compensation from the VA, he fell behind on co-payments for his doctor's visits at the VA.
We had the payment plan going for a while, and finally I get a letter in the mail saying, we're going to garnish your Social Security money.
What were you being treated for there?
Prostate cancer and thyroid cancer.
So they wanted you to pay back or pay co-payments for your cancer treatment?
Pay for these co-payments, get them paid off. I was retired for 3 years, and by going to the VA, I have to pay these co-payments. And a lot of places you have to pay co-payments. But mine got up to like almost $3,000.
Over what time period?
Just over 2 years or so.
$3,000. So the VA treatment's not free for you?
It's not free. I still have to pay, $25 co-payments, $35 co-payments, $9 for medicine, around $9. But to start paying back faster, I went back to work at 64 years old, 65 years old, something like that. And, I was supposed to be retired at that point, but now I'm still working.
Amen.
Both Yates and Lawley are advocates at the Blue Water Navy Association. They recently gathered on Capitol Hill to press for a remedy like a popular bill Congressman Murrow proposed to restore benefits to sailors. In simple terms, your bill says what?
It says this. It says if you are a veteran who served in the service, that you'll have these presumptions, the same presumptions that any other soldier, sailor, airman, Marine that put their feet on the ground in Vietnam had. We're going to treat everybody the same.
Just very quickly.
Murrow says under his proposal, the costs of compensating the Blue Water vets wouldn't add to the deficit. It would be covered by vets themselves through a slight increase in VA home loan fees. The bill had impressive support. In 2018, it passed in the House 382 to nothing.
The nays are 0.
But it was blocked in a procedural move by 2 senators.
We had a couple of senators that held it up, put a hold on it, and we just could not get it done.
Who put a hold on it in the Senate and why?
Well, I think there were 2 senators, Senator Lee and one other senator. And
Do you know
I think
who that was?
Senator Enzi.
Okay.
From Wyoming. And one was Senator Enzi's worry was the physical cost of it.
Senator Mike Enzi told us the bill would cost more than original estimates. Senator Mike Lee said more scientific information is needed. While the bill was stalled in the Senate, the Blue Water vets took their case to court, arguing that in the law on the books since 1991, Vietnam service means land or sea. In January, a breakthrough. A federal court ruled for the vets. It said that in the original Agent Orange law, when Congress ordered compensation to vets serving in the Republic of Vietnam, it unambiguously referred, consistent with uniform international law, to both its landmass and its 12 nautical mile territorial sea.
And one of the things I am so concerned about is that we're losing not just Blue Water, but all Vietnam era veterans my age. 523 a day are dying. So as I explained to my colleagues, I said, look, this is a self-limiting problem. We know how many veterans there are, and we're dying at a fairly rapid rate now. And so if you wait long enough, none of us will be around.
In retrospect, you served our country, and the result, if this is connected to Agent Orange, was a lot of heartache, headache, physical health problems for you. Do you regret the service that you gave?
I don't regret the service. I think it did me a lot of good. At the time, they tell you that they will take care of you in the future. And here the VA's saying, well, no, we're going to take care of everybody else. We're not going to take care of you guys. And it's just unfair.
I would like for a country that I've served to recognize what we gave and to provide care, health, benefits also, if you will, but primarily medical care, health care for those who have been afflicted.
As to the recent court decision that Blue Water vets are like other Vietnam vets, the VA told us it, quote, will determine an appropriate response.